What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Venators Trading live stream. It is Tuesday, December 19th, 8:38 a.m. New York time. 7:30 here where I am at. And it's good to be back. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope we had a good trading day yesterday off of the little bitty range that we had. What's up, Onsab? Good afternoon. John Jones first into obviously. But glad you guys are here, man. Just finishing out the year. This will be the last week of the live stream going into the Christmas holidays and New Year's holidays. Just going to be chilling, hanging out with fam, and doing all that cool, fun stuff. Still working on a 100K Top Step combine here. It's just, the account is just over break even. It's been up to about 3%, down into drawdown by like 1%, and then now it's back up into break even. So it's all good. And yeah, we're just trying to keep working on that. So we're looking at oil here. We've got an oil chart up, kind of a big range yesterday, and we're just trading inside of that currently. This was yesterday's Monday candle here, so Monday high and low. Obviously been in a big downtrend here. Prices have kind of bottomed out. If you look back up over here, tapped into this big demand zone here. Monthly time frame. So what we're looking at here is where does it want to do? Does it just consolidate for the rest of the year here? We've tapped up into this weekly fair value gap, completely closed it in yesterday. And now do we head lower, or are we going to try to kind of climb back up over the next couple of weeks here? So interesting location where we are in the chart off of this weekly time frame. Sitting inside this fair value gap right here. And so far rejecting heavily off of it yesterday. All of this wick was this weekly fair value gap. So just kind of watching that. We did close, body candle close above these old highs right here, this little swing high. We did close above it. So I guess you could be slightly bullish, but hard to say, quite honestly. 4 hour showing rejection off of this order block here. This fair value gap has been holding up on the 4 hour time frame right here. So that's where we're trading inside of right now, inside that 4 hour fair value gap, and it's held up and acted as resistance. This order block fair value gap combination, we did have a break of structure here, came back, rebalanced these fair value gaps, displacement above this high. So yesterday's high does feel like it could be where it wants to target. This is yesterday's low right here, I believe. Yeah, yesterday's low. So I'm just kind of watching and waiting. It's been just in a very tight range since yesterday's close. It's just been doing this number here. So kind of waiting to see, does it want to have some direction this morning? Where does it want to go? Does it just want to sit around in here and kind of just pause and engineer liquidity, so to speak, with these highs and lows above? We did have this big pop down in London, and then an aggressive move back up, and then held it, but we haven't been able to displace higher after this run. It grabbed liquidity, quickly came back up, and then it's just chopped the rest of the morning. We've been able to not sustain any further movement to the upside. So this is the large 4 hour fair value gap right here. So I'm just going to be kind of chilling on this and waiting to see what happens with oil for right now. I'm really not in any kind of mood just to get into a trade right now on anything. Didn't really spend any time on the charts at all over the weekend. Just chilled, really. And so I'm just yesterday I barely looked at the charts. So you kind of feel like when you come back after a long time of that, and it's been several days, you just, I don't know. It always takes me a little bit of time just to kind of get back into the flow, get the mojo back of reading price action, looking at the charts. What is it doing? How is price reacting at certain levels? To find those good A plus setups. So oil consolidating. Gold, yesterday's high and low, still trading inside of that. We have failed to take out yesterday's higher low. We have failed to take out, and yesterday failed to take out Friday's higher low. So we're just kind of winding up here on gold as well, which isn't terribly shocking. Knowing where we're at the end of the year calendar here. Friday's high and low, Monday traded inside day, and so far Tuesday is an inside day of Monday's inside day. So again, not a lot of very clear price action exactly where and how we want to where we want to manipulate here with gold. As far as what it's doing inside this internal range, currently grabbing some liquidity. And looks like it may want to get back inside of here. If we get a closure back down inside this area, you could probably expect a return to the lower level here, potentially. So just watching that as well. ES took out yesterday's high. We have not made all-time highs on ES yet. We still have a little bit of ways to go on that, but we have made all-time highs on NQ. We've stabbed above it, taken out this swing high, and taken out the let me squeeze out here, this all-time high here on NAS. We have taken that out. We've just stabbed above it. So where do we go from here? You know, anytime you reach up into brand new territory, there's no price action there to look at. We've just been on an absolute rip on NQ since really the beginning of December, just tearing higher. No pausing. I mean, we had one little pause there on the 14th, but I mean, pretty much just straight up, just shot out of a rocket. So, or shot out of a cannon. So that's what we're working with. We've taken out yesterday's high here. Do we have higher prices in store? TBD. There's a nice little 4-hour fair value gap right under here that it just touched. Getting a heavy rejection off of the all-time high currently, which is to be expected. There's probably a lot of people that have sell stops up there thinking perma bears, or just people saying, hey, when it gets to the all-time high, there's going to be a pullback. It's going to tap it and pull back. It doesn't mean it can't rip higher after this, but it's tapped into a lot of buy-side liquidity by hitting that all-time high there. What's up, Cisco? I think it's just me and you right now, Bob. Oh, and John. John and Cisco. Welcome in, guys. I have 2 streams going, so I'm 2 of the 7, and then you were 2. So maybe there's a couple more watching, but I don't know if he did or not. It's a small crowd today. Do have the good old Leo Ben candle going. Autumn night. Smells wonderful. Giving me all the good, happy trading vibes here. So as we come into the 8:30 hour here, we're getting a pretty healthy pullback on NQ. We have run buy-side liquidity, and now we're getting a run down here. So we're breaking through order blocks, or breaking through fair value gaps. We did not get a body candle closure below this fair value gap. but we're just going to kind of wait and see what price has in store. ES took out yesterday's high. This is red line is yesterday's high. We've stabbed above it, stabbed above it. Look at all of the selling. Like, it's just, I mean, lot of liquidity up here now. If you're retail, you're looking at trend line, right? So a lot of liquidity built up under here, under these trend lines. But so far, the market is just shrugging off whatever it feels about the economy and just buying into the fact that the Fed's going to cut rates next year, probably as soon as March or May. And they're just plowing ahead, man. Just plowing ahead. So NQ falling off a little bit harder than ES. ES did take out this swing high at 715. NQ at 715 fell to take out this high. So we do have a little bit of SMT here with NQ reaching all-time highs and then failing to make a new high. ES hitting this high, taking out that intraday high, and then falling off. So we'll see how this wants to play out. Will be interesting. Might be a nice little interesting short here off of NQ on this fair value gap. And you could target these this liquidity down here. That could be a nice little potential sell. Something like this. Reach back up into this fair value gap. Target sell side liquidity. Yeah, obviously counter trend trade would be short intraday play. And it would be a retest of this 5-minute fair value gap right here, inverted. This 5-minute fair value gap came down, held. We've broken through. We didn't come back up and retest that 5-minute fair value gap there yet. So just going to kind of wait and see how that all plays out. I'm short gold right now. When it pulled back into the 3-minute opening range, it's just micro gold for all you micro guys. Sup, dudes? What's up, Dunamis? Welcome in. I was looking at the gold. I was trying to, I mean, it definitely had a nice, strong rejection on this 15-minute candle. We're rejecting down through this fair value gap now. It's into this order block right here currently. This 15-minute order block just above this, at the top of this range here. So we'll see how price wants to react off of that, but not a bad short, John, if you're in there. Some sell side liquidity areas definitely to target there. What else are we watching? Oh, the Euro futures. Euro has been climbing all since basically midnight. It opened down here, didn't really drop at all, and has just been climbing. Like the true day open at midnight is right here. We dropped just a pip or two below, and then it's been nothing but buying on that, which is surprising to me. I was kind of expecting the dollar to pop up into this fair value gap for the week, into this volume imbalance, and then start selling off again. But we couldn't get above Friday's high yesterday, and we've just sold off so far today. Perhaps today we bottom out. Wednesday we jump up into there, and then Thursday and Friday we have a little bit of a sell-off there on the dollar. But so far just dollar weakness, showing no desire to jump back up into this fair value gap or this volume imbalance right here. That's what I was kind of anticipating heading into with euro and pound, is thinking that euro dollar might want to drop down into this fair value gap right here this week. So this was Monday yesterday. Thought this candle might want to push down. Maybe today we get that push down into this fair value gap. Maybe that's the draw on liquidity for the rest of the week. We're putting in a high of the week here. We leave the previous week high in place. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we push back down. Maybe the dollar finds some strength. And then through the last couple weeks of the year, Maybe this is just carving out whatever range it wants to work in for the last, 10, 12 trading days of 2023. What's up, JeffX? Welcome in, man. Glad you're here. So with that in mind, potentially looking at some selling here. You do have this very large 4-hour fair value gap from last week. This is that daily fair value gap area that I was pointing to, thinking we might drop down into that. But see, we've taken out yesterday's high, currently trading back inside yesterday's high on ES. Oh, let me get back over here to Euro. Here we go. This is the Euro. This is what we're looking. I was even on the wrong freaking chart. Where is it? Here we go. 4-hour fair value gap. We have come back down. If you're this high to this low, you're right at the optimal trade entry. Whoops, that didn't stay on there. Tapped right up into the optimal trade entry here. And if you were going to target a move off of this, it would be, the first move would be this 0.27 extension from the optimal trade entry level. So which would line up inside this fair value gap. If you were trying to get short, I don't know that you would want to get short. The dollar has been weak. And so just thinking that the dollar should be weak is not enough evidence to just jump into a trade there. Or that the dollar should just randomly find some strength now. So we'll watch that. Pound has been very strong, way stronger than Euro here. Yesterday, traded down into the daily fair value gap and then rejected up higher. So you're be looking at previous week highs right there as some liquidity, your targets. NQ tapping into that 5-minute fair value gap right there. Right here. We'll see what kind of reaction we can get off of that, see what kind of movement we can get. That is the a body candle closure above that. I would probably just cut the loss, as it doesn't want to respect any PD arrays. So we'll just monitor this here pretty aggressively. You have an inverted 5-minute fair value gap right here. And probably the reason I'm interested in this specific trade is, again, NQ failing to make a new high. So you have ES taking out highs and dropping, and you have NQ failing to take out that all-time high there, failing to make a new high there, and then displacing lower, closing back below these swing lows, coming back up in rebalancing a 5-minute fair value gap and a 5-minute inverted fair value gap together. So if we can get 1-to-1, probably if we could retest this low here, I would probably move to break even at that position. So we have just a 3% risk on that NQ position right there. Dean is killing it on Top Step, man. He's doing great. What's up, Shadow Trades? Welcome in. What's the gold doing here? Kind of coming up off of this 15-minute order block right here. Tapped right into the body of that. It's pushing up a little bit, finding a little bit of strength now. Lower time frames. What are we looking at here? Not really any fair value gaps on the 10, on the 5, the 3. Nothing super clean for me to want to get short just yet on gold. Came off yesterday's volume profile high to the tick. I haven't really looked at volume profile much. I know there's a lot of futures guys that's pretty much all they use. Um, yeah, maybe I should do some more studying on that. Update: I breached the account you gave me. Uh, I'll slide in a DM on your account on Twitter. Okay, man. Well, sorry to hear that, dude. And you're not. Uh, to make you feel better, to my knowledge, no one that I have given an account to has been able to pass their accounts, get funded, or reach a payout. So that is nothing to be upset about or ashamed of or embarrassed by. We've all blown accounts. So, it is what it is, man. You hopefully did your best and followed your rules. And if you followed your rules and you still blew the account, then it is what it is. No big deal. MBD, baby. Again, if this 5 minute candle that we're in right now, we still have 3 minutes left of it. If we get a body candle closure above this fair value gap, I'll probably just cut that trade off. This 5 minute inverted, technically you could use it and get a closure above that, but why not just cut your losses early? If you get a 5 minute, if it's going to violate the first PD array you come to, then it's probably no good. It all lines up with ICT stuff, but it's like ICT came up with these mystical names. It's like if there was an engineer who didn't use engineering terms, but instead made up his own lingo. I've heard a lot of people say that before, and that's not it doesn't, to me, John, when I think of that, I'm like, look, maybe the engineering terms that do exist uh, are too difficult to understand. And if I come up with a different language or I have a different way of explaining it to my students, it doesn't necessarily make me a fraud. Now, the part that makes him that people think that he's a fraud is that they claim that it's brand new material, like it's never been discovered before what he's talking about. That's the part that I think that people think that he's a fraud, that he won't admit, hey, I'm an engineer, I understand engineering, and I'm just relabeling and reteaching stuff in a different way to make it easier for you to digest. That's, I think, the problem that most people have with ICT is that they recognize that what he's talking about and the things that he's describing have been around for a long time, and other people have used them and they've just said it in different words. And because he's using his own language, he thinks that he's invented it. So I think that's where the problem comes in. If he would just be straight up and just be like, look, I've been trading for 30 years. This is how I learned. These are the ways I understand how the market moves now based on these old principles. And here's what I call it. People will probably be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Cool. Uh, you're not just trying to falsely repackage stuff. Like, you actually understand I'm repackaging stuff. On the other side of the foot, I could also see how he would think, I have 30 years of trading experience. I'm not repackaging anything. This is just how I see and view the market. And, so it's both and. It's both and to me. All right, we got about 20 seconds here for this candle to close. And again, if it closes up above that first 5 minute fair value gap, I'm just going to cut the loss here. If it's going to violate one PD array, it's probably going to violate the others. So what's the 10 minute doing? 15 minute. Did that close above? I can't really even tell right there. Technically, it did close above, I think. Man, my eyes are so bad. Old man eyes. What's up, Shanghai? ICT reinvented live trading also. He calls it live or something. Shows a trade he took live, but shows recording fishy, to be honest. Here's the part about his live trading that is sus. Is he shows you the live recordings of getting into positions and just buying and selling. Do you understand how easy it is to have two computers with two windows of TradingView open on both sets of computers and hit record on both computers, buy on one, sell on the other? You're guaranteed that one of those trades is going to be a massive winner. So that's the sus part about it for me. When he puts out his one a dose, I'm going to go ahead and kill that trade there. It did close above the body. It came back in. It's giving me a chance to get out. So just taking a 0.1% loss there on that. I'm going to go ahead and pull this over. Got out right there. This 5-minute fair value gap. This may still work out, but I'm going to just follow what I said I was going to do. If a PD array gets violated, I'm going to get out. That's the sus part of his live trading for me, is that it'd be so easy for me. I have two computers right here. I could open my PC, pull up TradingView, hit record, hit buy, pull up my laptop on my Mac, open TradingView, hit sell, record both of those, and I could sit there and manage both of them fairly easily. And then later in the day, cut them up and do a little video, show you the winner, and tell you that I read price perfectly. So that's the sus part for me about the replay, is that it's very, you don't have to manipulate your MT4 anymore. All you have to have is two computers with two versions of TradingView open, and click buy and click sell. That's all you got to do. And if he's not doing it like actually live on YouTube or on Twitter, like in the moment doing it, and he has done it a couple times, but there are also times that he hasn't done great when he just tries to do it live in front of people. So John says, I can't imagine teaching math, but instead of calling it algebra equations, I called it quantum enigma expressions. What's up, Risk? Good morning, everyone. I hope you all have a great day and happy holidays. Happy holidays to you, buddy. Merry Christmas. The Isolation X incantation spell. You would be the laughing stock of anybody remotely familiar with math. The same holds true for ICT. Tough pill to swallow, not necessarily a hot take. Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's not great. There's a lot about his stuff that, not great. All right, that 5-minute fair value gap may just hold up. I did say if it closed a body candle closure above it, I would get out, and I did cut my losses, which is fine. ES is rejecting down heavily now off of its highs here. Let's see what we're looking at. Where's the liquidity? You've got several levels of buy stops underneath all these lows here. So potentially we're going to get a little bit lower gold. Again, I don't really see this 10-minute fair value gap right here coming into the top of the hour. So let's see how this hourly candle's closing heavy rejection there. Still bullish. Looks like it's not going to displace a body closure above that high, which would lead you to believe this hourly fair value gap should get tested. And if that's the case, any push up, you could sell. If you get a wick up here, you could sell the move down into that hourly fair value gap at least. He's a clown. He's coming on to Top Step TV, though, and that will be a hope because Patrick Whelan is a regular. All right, John. Have fun with your Top Step, boys. ES dropping, NQ now dropping. Unfortunate. That 5-minute fair value gap couldn't. It did hold, but it didn't. It had that body candle closure above there, and that kind of sucks. Oh well. I'm probably got about 20 more minutes here on the live stream today. It's probably about all the time I got. What's oil doing? Reaching back up to the top of the range here for oil. This is a 4-hour fair value gap. The top of the fair value gap, bottom of the fair value gap here. Euro closed bearish candle, but failure to displace above, tapped into a fair value gap, reached up above that sell side or buy side liquidity. Update on Top Step account is that we basically sitting at break even. We were in drawdown last week by about 1%. We pulled it back up last week up to the original account balance. I took a stab on this NQ trade here, and we're down 0.1%. Lost $100 on that trade right there, and I just cut my losses. Is all I did. I said if it violated that 5-minute fair value gap, I would get out, and it did. You can see body candle closure above this 5-minute fair value gap. So I went as it came back down into this range. I just cut my losses right there. It did drop off of that a little bit. And if price had come down into that area right there, I had said I would probably move to break even. So even if I've held this trade, I'd probably be at break even right now. And it looks like it's in danger of, well, still TBD, obviously. The 9 o'clock hour just opened here. 30 minutes to the opening bell on the future stuff. So we'll just watch that. If I could get back above these short-term highs on the 2-minute time frame. Stop above the bodies of those candles, targeting the 1-hour fair value gap. On gold, short little scalp here. What's up, Corey? A quickie today. Yeah, quickie today. Probably tomorrow tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, we should be able to go a little bit longer than normal. Longer than an hour, probably. But today, I got to do a short one. Violation rule should have body close above. Yeah, body close above on the NQ trade is exactly what we got on the 5-minute time frame, which was the frame that this was, the time frame this was framed around was a 5-minute time frame. We failed to make a new high. We displaced lower, left behind a fair value gap. It tested, it got in, but then the next 5 minutes closed above, and that was the violation. So we cut it. Did get triggered in here on the gold. Again, just looking to sweep these short-term highs right here and then target the 1-hour fair value gap underneath. It's only just above it but it was there. Yeah, that's what she said. It was. There was a body candle closure above, so I cut my loss. If this can take out this short-term low here, I would move to break even on this position. We'll see how if it can hold up into the first 5 minutes of the second 5 minutes, sorry, of the next candle here. This 15-minute order block could send this just shooting up right here. So definitely a counter trend trade off of early morning price action so far. Oil has popped back up above. Now it has displaced above this range that it's been in. Little 5-minute volume imbalance right here. Let's see, what are we working with now? So we've got a nice little order block we could work off of. Any return down into this. Go ahead and move this back. This is a 4-hour fair value gap. This area right here, any return back down into that area could be a potential buy opportunity on oil. We've grabbed liquidity, pulled up, finally getting some displacement. We are just tapping in. It'll be interesting to see if there's an aggressive move down. This is no good, but if this just kind of trickles down, taps you in, cool. All right, gold moving now back into our favor again. If we can get down into this level here, I would probably move to break even at this point, just over 1 to 2. If we can get down into the 50% range of this hourly fair value gap, that would be my initial target. We'll see if price cooperates with us. 15-minute order block right here. ES closing below. And that NQ trade, it's just unfortunate we couldn't get a respect of that. It was a really nice setup here with SMT on ES too. NQ fell to make a new high here. ES opposite taking out the high. Oh well. Way goes. That's the way it goes. I don't know if anybody traded the 5-minute fair value gap between the 3 and 4 o'clock hour on Euro, but it was a beauty. Easy 1 to 2. You take the first 5-minute fair value gap after the 3 a.m. candle, which is right here, and you just target a 1 to 2. You get in on a tap of that fair value gap. Your stop is below the candles that created the fair value gap, and you target a 1 to 2. Easy money there. I think Pound also gave you a similar setup. Here's your first 3 a.m. candle, fair value gap right there. Stop below, target 1 to 2. Would have been a beauty. First 15-minute candle on the 9 o'clock hour rejected lower and is pushing higher now. This 15-minute order block does look like it wants to hold up there. NQ trade would have been a break-even trade anyway right there. So no harm, no foul. Just took a small little 0.1% loss there. That would have been a break-even trade for me. What's up, Beeswax? Welcome in, man. Looking at the comments, I can tell you have about 50% boomers on your stream. Said with love. I say that because a lot of comments, like stuff my dad says. Yeah, I think we're some older guys on here, man. I'm a boomer. Well, I'm not a boomer. I'm Gen X. I think what you mean is Gen X, not boomer. I know boomer means just old dude, but technically, because this is what a boomer would say, you're getting your generations mixed up, son. A boomer is what my dad is. Boomers are in their 60s and 70s now, son. Gen Xers are the new boomers. Gen Gray. I definitely am Gen Gray. 100%, man. Well, it looks like this stop's probably going to get slapped. And that's fine. Might as well start the week out with an L anyway. Why not? It wouldn't be a Venator stream without trying to overcome the losses anyway. About 15 minutes to the opening bell there. Big 15-minute bullish candle there. Right off of that order block. I don't know why I try to take the counter trend trade so much anyway. I feel like my eye naturally sees the counter trend trades, and trading with the flow of the market is probably just so much easier. Even called out that 15-minute order block right there. Oh well, every loss is a lesson, right? I never know what age people mean with all these Gen stuff. So Gen X is, it's the smallest generation. Gen X. Let's see. Gen X years 65 to 80. Numbers wise, it's the lowest. There were fewer babies born between 1965 and 1980 than any other generation currently being tracked, starting with like the boomers. After, I mean, there was a massive, they call it boomers, after World War II, the population just blew up. I mean, absolutely just blew up. And that's why they were called boomers. But all the boomers grew up and they didn't have very many babies. That was the Gen Xers. Which I am, right in the middle, 1975, baby. And then after Gen X, you have the, I believe it's the millennials is after Gen X. Or is it Gen Y, then millennials? I don't remember. All right, we took the L there. Good enough for me. Time to go anyway. Let's see. Millennials are 1980s. Well, like 85 probably to early 2000s, which is what all my kids are, millennials. And then Gen Z is the current generation, the snowflakes. Actually, I think millennials are snowflakes and Gen Z is actually not snowflake. I don't know. Either way, is what it is. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call the stream there today. I got other stuff to do. We took the L. No biggie. Starting the week off with an L. I may watch the charts later on this afternoon. A little power hour trading maybe this afternoon. We'll see. I'm no snowflake. Jeez, man. I was graduating high school when you were born. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your time. Happy hunting. Stay safe. And we'll be back tomorrow, same time, 8:30 New York time. So we'll catch y'all then. Adios, you guys.